Yo, what's going on? Welcome back. We got another video on dope guests, and we outside with it. You know what I'm saying? I think it was something new, something that y'all gonna enjoy. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all want more of this type of content, please comment, like, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be good. We gonna be good money. But you might see me look at my notes from time to time. But this is an idea that that's been floating around for quite some time that I've had, and it's about micro and macro, piece and pieces. All right. So on the micro level, they sell you pieces, Piecess, peace. Because on a macro level, and probably on a personal level, we want peace as well. You know what I'm saying? Peace, right? And that's why the world is so out of sorts right now. It's because we really want peace, but we masking it with pieces because we're fragmented. Maybe we distracted from what we really want, how we really want to go about it, what we really want to do. Maybe it's fragmented behind layers of identity that we have assumed, accepted, or thought that was us. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you ever look at an advertisement, what is it trying to do? And what is like the fundamental thing in capitalism? Is to be a problem solver. It's to discover a problem and sell somebody a solution. You can sometimes, if you're really good at it, you can create the problem and also offer a solution as well. That's like kind of closed looping. But you know, you see all this advertisement like, oh, you out of shape. Take this GLP pen or whatnot, right? For example. But right before that, they selling you something that's that's unhealthy and that's going to lead to obesity. So it's kind of like it's not even kind of like you have to be aware that this is what's going on. It's pieces that they selling us because we fragmented and we really want peace collectively. You know, we're fighting for resources, fighting for land, competing for resources, however you want to spend it. And people may or may not come to those who need aid based off of incentives. It's a dirty game, man. It really is. But I just think that we really have to look behind the motives that's coming because as we keep going on, as we keep going down this AI rabbit hole and new tech rabbit hole with quantum computers, computing processing power and all that type of stuff, more and more people are going to need to have discernment. And it's unfortunate that we live in a society where people are more and more reacting to limited information just to be in the race to be the first person with an opinion on something. And it's very important to like really, really dig into the content that you're consuming because you're not going to really know who's like orchestrating all this stuff, but it's good for you to be mindful of what you're watching so that if you do choose the entertainment, you know exactly what you're getting into. So another thing I want to talk about in this video, since we're just walking, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, is more along that. Like, what are we watching, bro? What are we watching? If you look at these streamers like with Adrian Broner and motherfucking Dean the Great, bruh. Like, what's really going on, man? Like, what's really going on? The reason why I ask you that is because, like, it's starting to seem like there's a motive behind it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. That's one motive that's clear. Like Dean being engaging and playing little stuff. Adrian Broner be sometimes playing along. Then they try to always bring the the corporate, the Hollywood mule in with Ray J and Amber Rose and whatnot. And it's just like, it's obvious, bro. And I think also low key that streaming might be sponsored by a lot of these alcohol companies because if you're aware, the the recent stats say that the truth is that most young Americans are not drinking alcohol like they used to, and alcohol sales are going down. But when you watch streams, what you see Dean and AB always doing on a bottle of that Don Julio. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be aware because while you looking for entertainment, being in a state of fragmentation, they trying to sell you pieces that's gonna provide you comfort. See how I bring it all back around? So you watching Dean and AB, because we all do it. I've done it too. You know what I'm saying? I'm close to coming out of this social experiment that I'm putting myself under, watching the YouTube shorts and just watching the content like everybody else, just trying to see where this is all trying to go. But it's clear from all the streamers, him, Black Boy with his wild haircuts or wild hair coloring designs, or the fact that he talking about why twerking is gender-based identity for expression. It's like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Everything ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't got no course to sell you. I ain't got no Discord that I'm trying to lead you to. Maybe I should, and maybe one day I will. But even, you know, and that's another thing I want to talk about. And I'm gonna enjoy this freedom that I have, being virtually unknown, to speak my truths, because you know, the more I do this, the better I'm gonna get, the more aware I'm gonna be of what people want to hear from me, and I'm gonna start, you know what I'm saying, kind of forming to, what people want. But not to go off on too much of a tangent, but it's just, it's always been apparent that the best way to keep people in check is to keep them distracted. And the best way to do that is to present to them two counterpoints or two opposing forces and allowing them to pick which one they choose to resonate with. Give gives that person or those people that feeling of agency because they picked this person or this brand or this topic or this viewpoint, right? But because you can't control none of this shit, because you don't own the system, know who's running the system, none of that, you basically just playing into the game. You're playing into the game, man. So I just want to tell y'all, man, that this world is going to continuously give us, at an accelerated rate now, pieces to keep us pacified, to keep us distracted, to keep us competing with one another, arguing with one another, so that we don't unify and actually tackle this bigger issue, which is how does the human civilization globally, with all these interconnected races, cultures, nations, how do we really achieve peace. All the technology we have, and we still having issues. So we know that tech ain't, innovation ain't necessarily the answer, but it starts with the people of the nation. We can't rely on just our politicians, can't rely on just our religious uh, leaders, and we can't just say, hey man, if I change myself, you know what I'm saying, that's good enough. Like it's gotta be a collective. It's gotta be a collective. And this issue ain't gonna change unless we all collectively get on one accord. You know what I'm saying? Because peace one day will be obtainable for all of us. But before we go through it or get to that point, we're gonna have to stay on this roller coaster and ride the ups and downs, man. So don't ever forget, man, like the world as a whole is looking for peace. But the businesses and marketers, organizations, politicians, all that stuff, they selling you pieces because they know you fragmented. And in a lot of ways, they created the conditions for us to be fragmented. So this ain't a stay woke message. This ain't none of that. It's just real talk from a dope guest. Y'all be safe.